If God is in control, why is my life falling apart? I used to say that to other people, to comfort them. It's funny how easy faith sounds when you're the one whose life is stable. But when you lose everything you thought you could count on, your prayers start to sound different. It began last year, quietly, like a storm building before anyone notices the clouds. My name's Daniel. I'm 34. And up until then, I thought my life was going pretty well. I had a job at a small construction company, a wife who believed in me even when I didn't believe in myself, and a little girl who could light up a room just by laughing. Then everything started to crumble. First, the company I worked for lost a big contract. Within weeks, half the staff were let go, me included. I told myself it was fine, that God had something better. I even told my wife, don't worry, this might be a blessing in disguise. But weeks turned into months and no job came through. Bills piled up. We sold the TV. Then my truck. I tried to stay calm, but deep down I was scared. My wife picked up extra shifts at the diner, coming home exhausted, still smiling somehow. But I could see it in her eyes. She was running on empty. Then, one night in January, I came home to find her sitting at the kitchen table, staring at an envelope. She looked up at me and said softly, "It's the mortgage." We were 3 months behind. We tried everything, called the bank, asked for an extension, prayed every night. But by March, we lost the house. Watching strangers walk through our living room, pointing and whispering, felt like a punch to the gut. I remember standing outside with the last box of our things, whispering, "God, God, I don't understand. I thought you were supposed to take care of us." We moved into a small apartment near the edge of town. It smelled like dust and old carpet. The neighbors argued through thin walls, and the heater barely worked. Still, we tried to make it a home. My wife taped our daughter's drawings on the fridge and said, "See, it's not so bad." But something in me started breaking. I went from being hopeful to bitter, slowly, day by day. Every prayer felt like talking to a wall. Church didn't help either. I couldn't stand hearing the pastor say, "God's timing is perfect," while I was wondering how to pay for groceries. Then one night I snapped. We had just gotten another final notice bill in the mail. I threw it on the table and said, "Where is he, huh? If God's in control, why are we drowning?" My wife didn't yell back. She just said, "Maybe he's still here and we're just too hurt to see it." That made me angry, not at her, but at everything. I stormed out and sat in my car in the dark, gripping the steering wheel so hard my hands shook. "God, you said you'd provide. You said you'd take care of us. So why does it feel like you left? The truth?" I didn't hear any answer that night. No light from the sky. No voice, just silence. The next morning, I went to a construction site hoping to find day work. They didn't need anyone. I sat outside for a while, watching other men load up their trucks, and I thought, maybe this is how faith dies, not all at once, but one disappointment at a time. Then something happened that wasn't dramatic, but it mattered. I ran into an old coworker named Ryan. He asked how things were going, and for some reason I told him the truth. No pretending, no, I'm fine. I just said, "I'm struggling, man. I don't even know if I believe what I used to believe." He didn't try to fix it. He just said, "I get it. I've been there." Then he told me about a small renovation job he was doing. Said he could use an extra pair of hands. It wasn't much, but it was something. Working again, even for a few hours, felt like breathing for the first time in months. I came home covered in dust, my muscles aching, but my spirit lighter. My wife hugged me like I just won the lottery. We still had problems. The bills didn't magically disappear. But that tiny moment, that bit of hope, reminded me of something I'd forgotten. God doesn't always fix things in a flash. Sometimes he gives you just enough light to take one more step. A few weeks later, Ryan's crew got more jobs. I started working full-time again. It wasn't easy, but it was something. My wife laughed more. My daughter started talking about our new life. And me, I started praying again. Not fancy prayers, just honest ones. One night I told God, "I don't understand what you're doing, but I'm still here." And you know what? That was enough. But I'd be lying if I said the storm was over, because something else was waiting just around the corner. Something that would shake everything I just rebuilt. And this time, I wouldn't just be asking why. I'd be asking, how much more can one person take? Hey, if this story spoke to you even a little, please like, share, and subscribe. It really helps me keep creating these faith-filled stories that remind us we're never truly alone, even when life feels like it's falling apart. Stay tuned for what comes next. It's only just beginning.